Okay, I honestly have the craziest fucking story. I haven't read most of it. I read the update, which sounds weird, but I didn't know there was like a first post, and the update was wild. So like, or well, I knew there was a first post, but there was like a TLDR, so I thought that I got the whole story. But then reading the comments of the people who read both stories, I was like, oh, I'm missing a lot, and there's like a lot going on here. So we're gonna go over this fucking crazy one. It's so long. So the title is I stood in my partner's best friend's wedding and his wife made me wear a wig. Made me wear a wig. Will you wear wigs? When will you wear wigs? I will wear wigs when I can afford wigs. Coming to the internet. Okay, my partner Joe, 24 male, and I, 24 female. Keep in mind, I think we're supposed to hate the guy at the end of this. Based on the second half of the story that I read, I don't know how to feel about the guy. Um, Jay's best friends. Okay. Oh, okay. So they've been together for 8 years and married for just under a month. Jay's best friend Seth, 23 male. You guys are married at 24. Holy shit! And I have known each other since before Joe and I met. About a year and a half after Joe and I started dating, Seth started seeing Mia, 23 female, and the double dates commenced. I've never been a huge fan of Mia since she's the type of person to eat 3/4 of her meal at a restaurant, then complain to the wait staff until they comp the meal, among other things. Also, we hate Mia. Like, we already fucking hate Mia. I don't think we're gonna like Seth either. I don't think we're gonna like any of these people. In the summer of 2021, Seth bought a house for himself and Mia that needed a lot of work due to prior flooding, not flooring, what the fuck. My partner and I went out there and Joe and Seth did some work on the plumbing and subfloor. A few other times Joe went out there to help with other stuff, and by the end of 2021, Seth had the place renovated into a pretty nice house. He and Mia invited us and some of our friends from the... Holy shit, this English is interesting. Or am I just bad at reading? He and Mia invited us and some of our friends from the friend group out there for a New Year's party. They have a pretty nice detached garage / pole barn situation. So they got it set up with beer pong and speakers and stuff, meaning people were going back and forth from the pole barn to the house. At one point, it was just Seth and I in the house mixing drinks, and he confided in me that he wasn't entirely happy in his relationship. He talks about how Mia called him names, laughed at him, yelled at him, and asked what he should do. I said what my partner would have said. We have a spare bedroom if you need it. Every time we went out to Seth and Mia's house, Seth would find a way to confide these things in me. They gradually got worse too. She threw stuff at him, slammed doors so hard they'd break off their hinges, stuff like that. Every time I'd remind him we have a spare bedroom, but I couldn't outright tell him to leave her. It didn't feel like my place to make that call. It's not. He's a fucking grown-ass adult. This is why, like, these people should not have... Or no, they're getting married. These people should not get married. Like, why the fuck are... Okay, whoa. What's happening with my hair? I look like a child. But yeah, already I'm right. These people should not be fucking getting married. What the fuck is going on? Like, she's throwing shit? Hello? In October 2022, while at a Halloween party, Seth showed me a picture of the engagement ring he'd gotten. I don't remember much of the conversation beyond him asking if his proposal plan sounds good. I told him yes, I congratulated him. I did all the things I thought a friend should do. A month later, there are beautiful photos all over Facebook announcing the engagement and announcing that the wedding date was set for October 2023. Oh, so they announced it and then they're having their wedding 11 months later. Interesting. That's a long time to wait for a wedding, unless it's not. Maybe people... Yeah, I think people book weddings a long time in advance. In February 2023, Mia asked me to stand in as a bridesmaid in her wedding, and I genuinely was shocked. We didn't talk much, even at their house parties. My partner, of course, he was asked to be the best man, and he instantly accepted. I didn't know what to say. They'd asked us in front of the rest of the wedding party, and I hadn't been expecting it at all, so I accepted too. That's shady as fuck. I don't know. I think I would have said no. Like, I don't want to be anybody's... I don't know. I just want to... If I, like, any of my best friends get married, I just want to be a guest. Like, I just want to watch. I don't want to, like... I'm sorry. I don't want to do stuff. I want to be there and, like, support you And, like, maybe I'll help you plan it if you want. But, like, I don't want to do wedding stuff. I'm sorry. That sounds a nightmare. Like, I don't want to go to a bachelor or bachelorette party. Um, I just would never have those things for myself, so I don't think I'd want to do them for somebody else either. But who knows? Maybe I'll change my mind. Um, It made me nervous thinking about it, but if that's what they wanted, then I was going to do my damnedest to make this wedding work for them. Despite everything Seth had told me, it wasn't my place to cause a scene about it. In March, Mia asked me to make sure my hair was a normal color for their wedding. It's worth mentioning that at the time my hair was a light lavenderish color, and I'm no stranger to impulsively dyeing my hair a vibrant color. I told her I'd of course make sure it was a normal color, but she'd have to tell me what color. In honesty, because my hair is always different color, the request didn't bother me much beyond lamenting having to grow out whatever color she told me to go. Shit really started to hit the fan in August on the bachelorette weekend trip. The drive up was about 2 hours, and Mia spent most of it telling us about the latest wedding drama, that her parents had decided to take all of the money they'd been setting aside for a wedding venue and use it to refurbish their pole barn. So, do the parents also have a pole barn? What the fuck is a pole barn, first of all? Second of all, they used all the money to refurbish Mia and Seth's pole barn, or their parents' pole barn? I don't know. We don't have... Mia's parents were demanding that Mia and Seth work long hours pouring concrete, putting up walls, and retiling roofs so the wedding could be held there. Oh, so it is their barn. Mia talked about how her mother had been especially rude and condescending about the whole thing, calling her an ungrateful bitch when Mia talked about wanting the wedding to be somewhere else. I felt so bad for her, and I felt even worse when Mia's mother, along with 8 of her friends, crashed the bachelorette party. But she let it happen. Like, Mia is like a little fuck. Like, fuck Mia. Like, fuck Mia. Who cares? Who cares if her mother ruined her bachelorette party and her wedding? Like, she let it happen. Or is this a mother-in-law? No, that's her mother. We were outnumbered in this Airbnb to the point that I had to sleep on the floor. There were 9 women, all 50 or older, impeding on Mia's bachelorette weekend and the drunk the entire weekend. Throwing up into the lake off the paddle boat, they crammed all 9 of themselves onto... What? Okay, Mia had been looking forward to one of those lazy river situations where you rent a bunch of inner tubes and coast down a river and all that. The morning of, though, these women decided it should be put to a vote whether they went, no doubt because some of them were still drunk and some were hangover. So don't go! The overall consensus was to skip the tubing that all of the bridesmaids had already paid for and instead hang out at the Airbnb. I grabbed a few pre-rolls from my luggage, took Mia by the arm, and sat out on the front porch with her. We shot the shit about everything, not just the awful turnout of the batch party, but everything else. I felt like we really connected out there, talking about our partners and their friendship and what it would be like when we had kids and they'd have an extra aunt and uncle. For a long time I thought Seth and Mia would be the godparents to my husband and my kids. Where is that coming from? I thought you hated her. What is going on? These people are like giving me whiplash. A month before the wedding, Mia called an emergency bridal party meeting at their house. Per usual, my partner and I were the first ones there. Once the rest of the bridal party got there, we talked about the schedule of the day and how the bridal party would make entrances to the venue. At one point, Mia, who was quite drunk, pulled me aside and reminded me about the hair color. My hair at the time was split dyed red and pink. I asked her what color she wanted me to go, and she said copper would look so good on you. About a week and a half before the wedding, I went out and got a brownish copper hair dye and did the job. Since I colored my hair pretty frequently, it wasn't the healthiest, and I tried my best to do hair masks and stuff to make sure it wasn't too brittle for styling on the day of the wedding. Then, a week before the wedding, my partner proposed to me. What? What? I thought you guys had been married for like a month. What the fuck is this story? They said that they got married for a month. They've been married for a month by the time that Seth and Mia proposed. Or am I fucking stupid? What? Okay. The Tuesday before the wedding, Mia texted... We're gonna have to, like, check back because I don't fucking know what's going on. The Tuesday before the wedding, Mia texted me and asked if the color of my hair in those photos was how it would be for her wedding day. I said yes and reminded her that I'd asked her what color to do, and she had told me copper. She denied ever telling me that, and that she would never have suggested copper since my dress was cinnamon colored. She told me to send her a picture of myself wearing the dress so she could see if the colors clashed too badly. Before I could even send a photo of myself in the dress, she told me to just dye my hair an actual normal color. This turned into a massive back and forth of me telling her that I didn't have the money or time to go out and get my hair redone, and I was afraid if I dyed my hair again so soon it'd break off and be even more awful. I offered to step out of frame for her pictures. I offered to have my hair up so it wasn't touching the dress. I offered to suggest to her photographer that they color correct my hair. Her mind was made up, though. She told me she'd have me wear a wig for the entire day. I told her I certainly couldn't afford a high-quality wig, and she told me she'd pay for it. Like, red flags are flying all over the place. Flying all over the fucking place. Like, this is what happens when people in their 20s get married. It's a fucking mess. Like, just wait till you're in your 30s. Why is it so fucking hard to, like, enjoy being engaged for, like, I feel like the perfect time to get engaged is, like, 25, and then enjoy it for, like, 5 years. Just be fucking engaged. Just enjoy it, and see what life throws at you and how you guys handle it. What is it, like, I feel like our parents' generations have completely brainwashed so many of us with the whole, like, you need to have a wedding. You need to have children before you're, like, 27. Huh? Have you ever met a 27-year-old? They're kind of fucking stupid, and they probably shouldn't have a child. And I'm saying that as a 23-year-old. Like, I shouldn't have a fucking child either. The entire bridal party had gotten a text from Seth and Mia requesting all of us to be at the venue about an hour and 45-minute drive at noon the Friday before the wedding to help do final touches before the rehearsal dinner at 5. Of the entire bridal party, my partner and I were the only ones who showed up at noon. Everyone else didn't show up until 5 or later. What is going on? Why are these people so crazy? We went up to Seth to greet him, and the first thing he said to us was, "Is it too late to call it off?" And in proper supportive friend fashion, we told him no, reminded him of our spare bedroom. I'd had a nightmare the night before of the maid of honor beating the shit out of me when she saw my hair. So when she finally showed around 5:30 and came right up to me, I nearly pissed myself. She held out her hand and pointed to her ring finger. It dawned on me that I had indeed gotten engaged a few days prior, easy to forget given all the other stuff going on, and I held out my hand so she could see the ring. She gushed about how beautiful it was, and she told me she needed to talk to me outside after the rehearsal. No, don't do it. Fair enough. I confided in her when we stepped outside that I was terrified she wanted to beat me up, and she told me the whole story of the text, how she told Mia not to send them and to let her handle it, how her work friends had read all the screenshots Mia sent and thought she was taking things way too far. We talked for a long time, and at the end of it, she said she'd check with Mia on where the wig situation stood. Before the end of the night, she pulled me aside again and confirmed that Mia wanted me to wear the wig the entire night, and that she wouldn't settle for an updo or anything of the sort. The mother of the MOH, mother of the husband, but that's not a husband yet. Mother-in-law, why don't you just say mother-in-law? Then invited me to spend the night with the rest of the bridesmaids at Mia's house, which I politely declined, as you should. I was expected at a salon about an hour from my house the next morning at 8 a.m., and I arrived at 7:45 just to be safe. The rest of the bridesmaids, along with the bride, all showed up shortly thereafter. The salon is owned by one of M's mom's cousins, who also happened to be at the bachelorette party. She was one of the dumbasses puking off the side of the paddle boat. She got me in a chair before I had even set my bag down, and by 8 a.m. I had the most hideous wig slapped onto my head. She didn't even style it, didn't even bobby pin it in. It took 10 minutes max. The other bridesmaids got their hair styled in super cute curls and waterfall braids, and I sat there with an unstyled, unflattering wig on my head that wasn't even properly covering my hairline. We got our makeup done at the salon, too, by a different lady. When I sat down in the chair, she asked me if I was okay. Because nobody was speaking to me, I asked her if the makeup was waterproof or anything, and she told me to just try my best not to cry. She ended up doing my makeup pretty quickly too, and in all I spent maybe a half hour in a salon chair. The other bridesmaids had way more time for hair and makeup, and between the way the wig looked and the fact that none of them would even look at me, I excused myself to go out to my car. I have never cried the way I did in that car. I called Joe, who was riding with the groomsmen I was going to walk down the aisle with. I tipped my head down so the tears wouldn't leave tracks in my foundation. I cried that I wanted to go home and that I couldn't keep doing this. I told him how I felt like I was back in middle school and high school being bullied, all because I did what the bride told me to do. I dyed my hair the color she told me to dye it. He reminded me that I wasn't standing in the wedding for Mia, but for Seth. Oh, this is where we start to fucking hate him. I told him I couldn't even do it for Seth because S knew about the situation and wasn't willing to stand up for me, which I'm not saying I expected him to stand up to his soon-to-be wife for another woman. You should! What the fuck? Who is going to stand up to her if not him? Hello? But it doesn't change the fact that I couldn't handle the pressure and the bullying. Joe told me then that I should do it for him and that after this we'd figure it out. After this, you should break up, fuck, because that's stupid as shit. I feel like, I don't know, what the hell is up with these people? Why is a wedding so important that you're gonna let your fucking friend slash girlfriend, like, be this fucking upset? Oh my god. I need to see how much. Okay, we're almost done. After the ceremony, Al, the groomsman I had walked with, caught me crying. We were all supposed to be taking photos, and I couldn't stop thinking about how these people were supposed to be the godparents to our future kids. They will not be, unless you're an idiot. And they couldn't even stand to have me in the photos without a wig on my head. A went into the house and came out with one of those little pocket-sized shooters of Pink Whitney for me. Okay. After dinner, I slipped out to go to the bathroom. My mom told me to take the wig off and get a ride home, and that it wasn't worth it. I told her Mia was making me keep it on the entire night. Before she could really convince me to get the hell out of there, Joe tracked me down. He didn't know what to say. He just held me for a while, then told me I had to come back because they were starting speeches. Oh, this man. I'm gonna fucking rage. Shortly after the dancing really got going and the sun had fully set, Al started asking me if it'd hurt if he yanked the wig off. I told him they hadn't even bothered to pin the damn thing down. I told him not to because I didn't want to face the wrath of Mia. He asked me if I would rather spend the rest of the night miserable, and I shrugged a shoulder and told him to do whatever he wanted. He yanked the wig off and tossed it on one of those empty tables, then told me, if Seth or Mia have any shit to say, you tell them to come say it to me. Al, oh my god, you know what? Just leave assuming Al is single, because let's not be a homewrecker. If Al is single, you should be leaving with Al, not Joe. Fuck Joe. Fuck Joe. Fuck Joe. A few of the wedding guests even came up to me and said that my hair, despite being braided tightly to my head for the wig to lay on top, looked much better like this. Yeah, like, Mia has some fucking issues. I don't think that it has anything to do with the hair. I think Mia's, like, a controlling freak. And she probably wanted... I don't know. It's giving, like... I don't know. In the days following the wedding, Mia started sharing photos to Facebook, but none of them had me in them. I couldn't tell if I was more relieved to not have to see the palpable misery on my face or... Okay. Sorry for the scene change. My iPad died, and I was like, I'm not fucking doing this again, okay? I'm just gonna finish this video in my bed, okay? Let me fix the camera angle, though. This is terrible. So, I'm just gonna, like, try and get through this as quick as possible now, because I didn't realize how long it takes me to read stuff. Like, I'm not a slow reader, but I'm not a fast reader. Also, my lips are very dry, I'm sorry. So, where we left off is that Mia is posting Facebook posts and leaving OP out of it. Do we know OP's name? I'm not gonna scroll back to the top. I'm gonna lose my place again. 2 weeks after Seth and Mia's wedding, we were hosting a Halloween party, partly as a gift to the newlyweds and partly because they usually hosted Halloween, and we wanted to give them a break. They said they would come, but the night before the party, they canceled on us. As frustrated as I was to be throwing this party for them, only for them to cancel, I can't say I wasn't a little relieved. I didn't know how to talk to either of them after that day, and I didn't want to be forced to figure it out quite yet. That's perfectly fine, because what they did was insane. These people are insane. The beginning of November, a month and a half after the wedding day, Joe sent Seth and Mia a message in a group chat without me in it. The message reiterated that they are always welcome at our house, but that we were both incredibly hurt by what went down with the wedding. Joe requested an apology for the hurt I was put through, especially after Mia told me to dye my hair copper, then tried to tell me she never would have said that. Mia responded that I was just mad because I didn't get what I wanted. What? Like, this is why you should not be getting married. That is something a 16-year-old would say. You're clearly not. You're crazy. Oh my god. And that we were asinine if we thought she'd see my ugly ass hair and do anything other than throw a wig on my head. That she wouldn't apologize for something she's not sorry for. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all, Mia. Just a little hint. Something that could probably help you out a lot in life because you sound awful. The following day, Seth called Joe to apologize. Apparently, he told Mia not to send the message. He told Joe that he thought I also owed Mia an apology for taking the wig off at all. During that phone call, he told Joe that he thought... He told Joe that he thought OP owed Mia an apology for taking the wig off at all? Holy shit. During that phone call, Seth said something along the lines of being done with the friend group, that he only wanted to hang out with Joe over all of it. The friend group, who already didn't have the best impression of Mia even before all this shit went down, was unanimously fine with that decision. Yeah, Seth, you're just an idiot. You're losing everything in your life over this person that you definitely shouldn't be marrying. The day after Seth and Joe's call, Mia sent me a one-on-one message about how she would have dyed her hair whatever color I wanted for my wedding. She did that, and it wasn't enough. It's never gonna be enough with you, Mia. Um, and it'd fade eventually. She also accused me of not knowing her well enough to be saying what I was about her mother back during the bachelorette trip, that I was being stuck up and so on and so forth. I typed up a similar length response, and I'm proud to say I kept it civil. I reminded her that I did dye my hair the exact color she wanted, that I just refused to do it a second time in fear of frying my hair or making it look worse. I apologized for what I'd said about her mother, but I also told her that if I didn't know her well enough to talk honestly with her about something that was deeply troubling her, I never should have been standing in the wedding in the first place. I told her if I was stuck up, I would have taken myself home instead of still standing in the wedding party despite everything she put me through. Okay, we're at the final stretch. It took 2 days for Mia to respond, and she replied with, "After processing, I feel like I owe you an apology." End of message. When are people going to realize that's not an apology? That's just you admitting that you fucked up. Now where's the apology? Um, we expected to see them at Friendsgiving and try to smooth things over in person, but Seth texted Joe a literal hour before they were supposed to arrive and said that Mia wanted to go look at Christmas lights in a city almost 2 hours away. Have fun with that, Seth. You got what you deserved. Joe was faced with the impossible decision as we grew closer to planning our wedding of whether Seth could be his best man. Ultimately, Seth made the decision for him by blocking me on Facebook and removed me from his contacts on everything. I thought that he was just a little bitch. Like, I didn't think that he was actually going to, like, side with the wife. I just thought he was like, oh wow. For a long time, that was it. Seth and Mia were strangers to us. We didn't even invite them to our wedding. The reason I hash this all out now, though, is that I'm left with an impossible situation and I need help. In March of this year, Seth called Joe while Joe was at work and asked what had happened to them. Joe asked if he was joking, and when he realized Seth wasn't, he laid it all out. The wig, the non-apology, the name-calling, all of it. Apparently, Seth and Mia don't have anyone to hang out with anymore, mostly due to the way they treated me. Seth must have taken notes during this phone call or something, because a day or so later, Seth sent Joe a long apology for me. Apparently, Mia had written the apology that I needed over a year and a half ago, gave it to Seth, and Seth gave it to Joe. Joe had been looking for the right time to tell me about it. He said it sounds sort of legit, but he also admitted that it sounds like Seth had written it himself. Hi. Hello. Yeah, he probably wrote it himself then. She doesn't sound like she would apologize for anything ever. All of this is with the intention of Seth and Joe hanging out together, which, let me be clear, I never prevented. I encouraged Joe to keep up with Seth. I just didn't want anything to do with him. The moment Mia had that wig put on my head, it's like she and Seth became strangers to me. Rightfully so. So that's why I'm here. I haven't read the apology, and my partner said he wouldn't blame me if I never wanted to read it. Even typing this all out is reminding me the kind of emotional turmoil they put me through. What's the play? Do I read the apology? Okay, we're just gonna get right into the next part. Okay, so this is the update. I told my husband I'm not going to read the letter. The apology is a year and a half late. If they truly cared about me in this situation, they'd never call me crazy. They'd have apologized the minute I expressed how hurt I was. Joe is a huge believer in giving people room to grow and learn from mistakes, which is why he told me about the letter in the first place and not just burned it himself. After our talk, he realizes what kind of damage it would do to me to let Seth and Mia back into our lives. Even if they have grown and changed, I don't need to be their human empathy test subject. Pyramid. I truly hope they've become better people, but given they're reaching back out because nobody else will be friends with them, I doubt they truly have. True. And then a lot of people were coming for her in the comments saying that this was all her fault. And I agree, like, to a certain point, that she didn't have to put up with that. But she did. So, like, what are we going to do about it? Why are we going to shame her for that, you know? Like, somebody did her dirty and she didn't have the, like, confidence to, like, get herself out of it. And I always find it so weird that people judge that, like I don't know, that's just something they're gonna have to learn. There were also a lot of people calling me out about Seth pulling me aside and telling me how unhappy he was, and again, I think you're missing key context. I didn't just tell him we have a spare bedroom for you and leave it at that. I talked at length with him about these things. I told him that he deserved better, that he could come stay with us. Yeah, like, You did way too much for this guy. The fact that he would like confide in you like this and then block you, crazy. Oh, and this is the crazy part. Um, so she kind of like dug herself into his life, like every part of his life. They have a house and pets together, and he works with her dad. Like he works with Mia's dad. Like Seth works with Mia's dad. So like this guy literally, if he breaks up with her, I think his whole life is just gonna be like starting over from zero. He's gonna have to find a new job. His pets are probably gonna be taken from him. His house is probably gonna be taken from him. Maybe his house won't be taken from him, but I definitely don't think she'll let the pets go. She had successfully made herself a part of every piece of his life, and in our conversations, I told Seth that Joe and I could help him detach however he needed. Just a bunch of bullshit that doesn't need to be said because he doesn't fucking deserve this support. He's a terrible friend. We told him he could get in the car and we could drive away with no questions asked. Sorry. The day before the wedding, Seth asked if it was too late, and Joe and I told him no. We told him he could get in the car and we could drive away with no questions asked. Seth is a grown adult too. He chose what he did. This is the thing. Everybody chose what they did. And I think that as long as there's not a terrible outcome, like, that's put on somebody else, I don't think you deserve to be judged for that. Like, I don't think OP deserves to be judged for sitting through this all. Like, I definitely would have, I never even would have, the moment that they were like, change your hair color, I would have been like, I'm coming as me, and however my fucking hair looks, you like it or you don't. And then I would be uninvited probably because Mia is a psychopath. Or she sounds like one anyway. So yeah, it's just the different ways that people deal with things. Some people are like people pleasers. We can't hate them for that, guys. At the end of it though, Joe and I have talked it through. We know where our priorities lie. The only reason he'd been advocating for me to read the apology letter was for my own peace of mind and my own closure. So he did finally come around. This is this thing where it's like, at first I was like, leave him, but as long as he just came around to the right answer. Men are idiots, and sometimes they're gonna take a bit more, time and effort to like see the things that the rest of us see clear as fucking day. Okay, that's just how it is. And same with like a lot of anyone else, literally anyone, fucking, okay. But it's just like, it's crazy to think that if these 23-year-olds just didn't decide to get married, none of this would happen, because they don't need to fucking get married. Who needs to get married at 23? Unless you're like marrying to be rich, that's like kind of a slay. Only if the person that you're marrying who's rich is like a piece of shit and you're just like using them. Like if you're using somebody who's like a good person, fuck you. And then yeah, people are very happy for her. Good for you. Wishing you and your hubby a lifetime of happiness away from the assholes. Also, as a former hairdresser, fuck those hairdressers for putting an unstyled wig on you. What the hell? Like, but I think that these people are like small town living, because why the fuck is the wedding venue 2.5 hours away? The place that she had to get her hair done was an hour away. Like, I don't think these people live in cities. And also, by the way that they're talking, it doesn't sound like they live in cities, because who is letting their mother and 8 friends crash the bachelorette party? I would call the cops. I don't know what I would do, but I would do something. I just lost it. 1 sec. Yeah, and I like I said, whatever. But I was literally saying this. I'm still upset for you that your partner witnessed you get walked all over and choose to placate other people who should come second to you. You have a big heart, but I hope you stop putting other people's feelings before yours. Yeah, and I hope that your husband stops putting other people's feeling before yours. Okay, because the shit that fucking matters. Hi, Fanta. He's trying to attack my lip balm. Chonk. Chonk, chonk. The mic is like right on him. Kitty ASMR. I love you, Fanta. But yeah, everybody's just mad at the husband. I would be mad at the husband too, but like we live and we learn. He's also 24, so like he shouldn't be a husband at all. You know, this should have been like, cause like I don't know. That's the thing is like, this is why I just don't think marriage works at these ages, because like they should be dating, and then she should decide whether she wants to like continue dating somebody that isn't going to stand up for her, and he should decide whether he is going to learn more and be better to make the relationship work. We should not be figuring these things out in marriage, or I guess they're engaged, because that's the other thing I don't understand is they said that they had been married for a month before this wedding even happened, or before they got engaged. It was either before me and Seth got engaged or married. Apparently Joe and OP were like married for like a month, and like I'm confused. I'm still confused by that, but I don't know. The groomsman who took the wig off was the keeper. I won't say that about any other man in this story. Yeah, no. Hey, don't bite that. The men in this story are like the problem, except for Al. Al is a G. Gal. G gal. Okay, what do you want? Why are you so cute? So yeah, what do you guys think about this? Because this story was crazy. Honestly, this was insane. Who the fuck are these people? What is going on? And why are we having weddings so young? But also, no hate to people that get married young. If you get married young and it works, fuck me. I'm gonna shut the fuck up. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for this, but whenever I see young people getting married and then it doesn't work out, I'm like, see, too fucking young. You guys are dumb as fuck. Why did you do that? Now you have a divorce on the record, and you're not even, your brain hasn't even fully developed. Wild. But yeah, comment down below if you think. Comment down below if you think Seth and Mia should divorce. Also, tell me what your opinions are on Joe. I would love to know your opinions on Joe. Mine are like 50-50. Like, I don't know. I think the fact that I'm not in the relationship is why I'm like fucking ew, gross. But if I was in that relationship, I would want to make it work, I think. And as long as he just didn't do that again, ever, you know? That's his one time to like fuck up that badly, okay? One chance. Now he should know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Do all the things. If you enjoyed, hit the like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, what do we? Oh, also, I don't know if I said this, but what do we think of Al? We love Al, right? Everybody's in agreements that we love Al, right? Al is the real G in this story. But yeah, thank you for watching.